Hi everyone, myself Praveena Nayak, lecturer, KLES College of Education, Ankola. Let us discuss about teaching competencies. Before move on to actual concept, we should know about teaching. Yes, as we all know that teaching is an important aspect of the process of education. The main function of teaching is to impart knowledge, develop understanding, and skills in students. Teaching brings desirable changes in student behavior. We call it as interaction or discussion between student and teacher. Next, we move on to definitions of teaching. According to Amidon and Hunter, teaching is an interactive process primarily involving classroom talk, which takes place between teacher and pupils and occurs during certain definable activities. Yes, according to them, teaching involves discussion that goes on in the classroom regarding specific activities done in a classroom. Next, according to Clerk, teaching refers to activities that are designed and performed to produce change in student behavior. Yes, according to him, tool that changes behavior of the students. Next, we move on to actual concept of teaching competencies. Teaching competency means to bring the desirable changes in learner whatever the effectiveness influenced on a learners by the teacher with behavior, teaching ability and subject competency. Yes, teaching competency means it bring desirable changes in a student or pupils by the action of teacher with their behavior, teaching ability and subject mastery. Next, teaching competency means to create a learning environment, knowledge and skills implemented by the teacher. Yes, it means it creates one environment with knowledge and skills by the teacher. Next, definitions of teaching competencies. According to B.O. Smith, all the observational behavior of teacher which influence the desirable attitude of the children are called teaching competencies. Yes, according to him, the main aim of teacher is to bring desirable changes in student by his action, that is observational behavior of the teacher, that is by his action, ability, subject mastery and behavior. We can observe that, we means student can observe that, so it brings desirable changes in them. Next, according to H.C. Morrison, teaching competency is the integration of teachers' knowledge, attitude, and skills. According to him, it is an integration or action of teachers' knowledge, attitude, and skills which influence the children in order to bring desirable changes in their behavior. Next, according to Simpson, the ability to contextualize a specific knowledge and belief related to teaching activity is called teaching competency. Yes, according to him, activity which is related to teaching used by a teacher with specific knowledge is called teaching competencies. Next, we move on to components of teaching competencies. Teaching competencies consist of three important components, namely knowledge competencies, performance competencies, consequence or effectiveness competencies. Next, we move on to significance of teaching competencies. They are as follows: to achieve the command over the subject matter, to understand the learner behaviors in deep, useful for implement different techniques of teaching. It develops confidence of teacher. It enhances the effectiveness of teaching. It guides the teacher to use the different effective learning aids in order to make that teaching effective. It develops the scientific attitude in teaching. It helps to get the up to date true knowledge. Useful for develop the lesson based on teaching aims and objectives. Helps to develop the research oriented ability in teachers. It helps to implement effective evaluation techniques. It helps teacher to develop the teaching plans with broader outlook. It develops self-confidence and patience in teacher. It develops abilities of teacher like creative, active, etc. Thus, we conclude that teaching competencies varies from teacher to teacher depending on their ability, subject mastery, and behavior. Thank you.